Okay, cool. Well, I mean, when I originally hit you up, I was like, I wanted to know how COVID affected touring. I also wanted to know what touring was like with Kygo because I didn't really know on that level what it looked like fully, and we hadn't really had somebody on here to go into the details. We had Flyzik on, but he was like
Yeah.
defining his job too.
Yeah, I mean, I could dive more into the Kygo thing you want too. I mean, like the day to day on that. I know you had some day to day from Matt on that too, when you guys chatted with him. But I have a different day to day than he has with him. You know, that's like every crew member does.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, we've had a lot of different types of tours on here. We've talked about vans, we talked about jets, we've talked about buses, but on a day to day schedule, first of all, I guess, what's your official role with Kygo? Are you your monitors?
So I'm monitors / kind of head of audio. You know, we have a front of house guy who definitely has been with him for a while.
Okay.
I just kind of look over advances, and you know he does too. So I monitors. Let's just call me monitors. Don't want to
monitors. All right. And what's your guys like? Can you walk us through a day in the life? And I don't know if you have any fun stories because I mean I loved hearing about just hey we got in a private jet and did this. That stuff's so cool to me.
Yeah,
Not
definitely.
to be cliche, but I love that shit. It's just so wild, different from normal life.
Yeah, I mean the gig is different from normal life, that's for sure. And we have kind of some different stages of gigs. We do everything from like a private party in the backyard to somebody's house, which is usually way bigger than anybody's backyard or even my whole block.
Because the person who can afford that, it's not
exactly. Yeah. And those are those days are pretty easy. Like you fly in the night before, you show up. Usually during the day, COVID has changed some stuff where like you always get tested for COVID before walking on the property of anybody. And then you do like a quick sound check. Artist is never there for sound check. Almost never there, I should say. Very rarely, which is totally fine. But that's why we're there to make sure that he could just walk in and everything's the same. Then go back to a hotel, hang out for a bit. Then go back to the show, do the show, 90-minute set. You're there for maybe like 2.5 hours all in. Then go back to the hotel and hang. So there's a lot of like downtime, especially private party world. Like you're at the hotel a lot.
Sit around and wait, hurry up and wait.
Yeah, a lot of hurry up and wait, but a lot of like time to just walk around and do things too. Like when you're on a bus tour and you're production managing, like you walk into the venue at 6 a.m. and you don't walk out of the venue until 2 a.m. It's like it's dark when you go in, dark when you go out, and you don't do anything that like a normal touring, like guitar tech. They get some downtime. They go out and like go to dinner or like hang out and walk around. Like the last 2-3 years of me touring on buses, I never was able to do that.
Okay. Because you were doing production manager?
Yeah. I was inventing all the time. So it's kind of cool to do that. Like I was in New York a couple months ago doing a gig. It was a private party. We had some downtime and like I just walked around and like walked from my hotel to Times Square. I'm like, wow, I never did this before. I've been in New York like 40 times. I don't think I've ever been to Times Square. So it's kind of cool.
Be a tourist.
Yeah, exactly. The private party world, kind of doing stuff like that. That's that realm. Also, you never know what time the show is going to be. You know what time the show is going to be, but you could be playing at 7 or you could like 3 a.m. It all depends on what you're doing.
Is the thought process behind, how you said like he doesn't sound check, or maybe not specifically him, but the artist of this size, they don't sound check. They just show up and it's kind of ready to go. Is the thought process here like this guy's time is just worth so much money that like if we can just have him come in, do the show and leave, it's just, maybe he can do a Vegas show before, or he can live his life. Is that kind of the vibe?
I think it's more like just live his life and do something else. There's no point. He doesn't need to. He has a crew that's there that's paid to like make sure it's right. We'll have vocalists come in and sound check. I guess I could roll to like a festival world type thing where we get on site at 8 a.m. in the morning, maybe a little earlier or a little later, give or take, and walk in, introduce myself to the local crew. We don't carry any gear really. So it's making sure all the gear is right, kind of set up what I need to do.
Can you explain what that means? I know that's normal for you, but like, what's the difference between carrying gear and not carrying gear?
So like if you're on a bus tour or take it like an arena tour, you're going to have multiple trucks that have all the audio, lighting, video in it. So you're carrying the same kit, they call it, to every single show. So it's like, it's my same desk every day. It's set up how I want it. Now you could get that desk anywhere in the world, but just setting it up the way you want it, it works, everything's cabled correctly. When you're doing like, especially DJ world, where we're not doing a tour and we're doing these one-offs all the time, everything is advanced locally. So the local production company, which is what I am back in Chicago, has to provide exactly what your rider says.
So they order it.
Order it in. Yeah. I mean, it's not to the T. There's lots of like give or takes on it because sometimes we don't have that here. You're doing a show in, Mexico somewhere and they don't have that specific piece of equipment. They have to, freight it in from somewhere else. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, we could use this other thing. That's fine. So sometimes your day is very easy when you walk into a fest and it's like, it's all there. It all works. Sometimes it's all there and none of it works correctly. And it's like, man, my day just sucks today. And sometimes
Yeah,
like,
what do
it's
you
not
do?
even there. I mean, that's my job. Just make it work. Figure out how to make it work without, there's never been a show that has not happened. It's just sometimes it's very stressful. I remember being in China once and like the board was there, but the power supply wasn't there. And I just threw my hands up and I'm like, I'm just done. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like this, I think I yelled something like, my console doesn't run on fucking hopes and dreams or something like that. And I just like walked away. And it's just like, just because half of it's there doesn't mean the show's going to happen. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And, it showed up and the show happened. There's probably no sound check or something, but it's just like, you never know what you're walking into. You could advance for days upon days. And you just don't know what's going to happen.
Do you think all industries are like this? Or is it just the music industry that's fucking nutty? Because I always hear the craziest stories and I feel like it must parallel into other industries and we don't know about it.
Man, I mean, maybe I can't think off the top of my head, besides like the construction industry that has like you're walking in somewhere and there's this much gear there, like this much product that is you need to get in every freaking city you go to. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like a construction guy comes in and he's like, you got the wrong freaking cement truck. Like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't know.
These are 2x4s. I wanted 4x2s. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I guess he got you there. Yeah, you're trying to build a house and you got the wrong wood. Cut some corners there. So that's like the start of the day with the festival world. Like, right away as you're walking up, like, yeah, today's going to be great or today is going to be just terrible. But the good thing is like, if it's terrible, it's only one day and then like it's over and you're on to the next one.